mis amores, welcome back to my channel. This is lesson number 4 in our Spanish series, and today we're going to be looking at a very effective way of learning vocabulary. We're also going to have a reading comprehension using a lot of the words we've seen in previous lessons, and we're going to do a bit of grammar as well. Empecemos. An effective way of learning vocabulary is through this method that I'm about to teach you. Whenever you stumble upon a word, for example, you see the verb pintar. Those who truly wish to learn Spanish, and I mean, people say it all the time, oh yeah, I want to learn Spanish, but do you truly want to learn Spanish? If you do, then you're going to look up the noun that comes from pintar. You're going to look up the adjective. You're going to look up the adverb. Every possible word that comes from pintar, okay? So we have la pintura, which is painting, the thing, a noun. We have el pintor, which is a male painter, la pintora, which is female painter, and we also have even the word picturesque, which comes from the same base, pintoresco, right? So go ahead and do the work. This is the reason why science says those who are bilingual are better problem solvers, because they use their brains a whole lot to learn this new language, okay? The same thing happens with cocinar. It means to cook. La cocina is kitchen. El cocinero, male chef. La cocinera, female chef. And then we have bañarse, which is a reflexive verb meaning to bathe oneself or to take a shower. And from bañarse, we can extract el baño, which is bathroom, okay? So in that 1 minute, you've already learned like 8 words. And so that's why this method is super effective. And therefore, the next time you see la cocina or something related to it, it will jog your memory and you'll say, oh yeah, I've seen something similar. So it really helps you to learn new vocabulary. At least that's what I used to do in addition to studying the Spanish dictionary. Before we begin the reading comprehension, here are some important vocabulary words you should know. Italia, Italy. Italia, Italy. Enfermería, nursing. Enfermería, nursing. Auxiliar, day. Una maestría, a master's degree. Una maestría, a master's degree. So now it's time for a reading comprehension, una comprensión lectora. Y yo voy a leer y quiero que ustedes escuchen la lectura y respondan las preguntas. I want you to listen to the reading and respond to the questions. Okay, ready? Dice, María Gómez vive en Italia. Estudia enfermería y trabaja en el hospital más grande de Roma como auxiliar de enfermería. Come espinacas todos los días y su fruta favorita es la manzana. Tiene 23 años y quiere hacer una maestría en 2 años. Estudia mucho y quiere ser la mejor enfermera posible. So now I have some questions for you. La primera pregunta dice, ¿dónde vive María? Try responding out loud. Bueno, María vive en Italia. All right. Número 2. ¿Dónde trabaja María? Ok, excelente. María trabaja en el hospital. Número 3. ¿Qué come María todos los días? María come espinacas todos los días. Y la última pregunta dice, ¿cuántos años tiene María? Tiene 23 años. Muy bien. All right, so now we're going to get into some grammar. We're going to be looking at two very, very important verbs in Spanish. If you learn how to use these verbs properly, you can already start having conversations with people because these verbs are used a whole lot in Spanish, just as we use the verb to be a whole lot in English. So the verbs ser and estar correspond to the verb to be in English, and that verb is conjugated in the present tense as I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, they are, etc. But in Spanish, there are two different verbs that mean to be. And what makes this complex is in English, I can say I am a Christian. And I can also say I am in this room. I use am in both contexts. But in Spanish, you use two separate verbs and you will see just why. Ser is used to talk about permanent characteristics. And to remember it more easily, memorize the acronym DOCTOR. The D is for date, the O for occupation, the C for characteristics, the T for time, the O for origin, and the R for relation. So if I'm talking about the date, I'm going to use ser. If I'm talking about someone's occupation, including my own, I'm going to use ser. Characteristic, she's tall, he's short, ser. Time, telling the time, we're going to use ser. So ser is conjugated yo soy, and I've put the subject pronouns in parentheses because, as you should know by now, they're optional. You don't have to say yo soy, you can just say soy. So yo soy, I am, tú eres, you are, él, ella, es, he or she or it is, nosotros, nosotras somos, we are, vosotros, vosotras sois, you all are, ellos, ellas son, they are, ustedes son, you all are. So if I want to say my friend is a lawyer because law is an occupation, then I would say ella es abogada. And unlike in English where we have to say she is a lawyer, in Spanish they omit the indefinite articles a and an when talking about professions. So they just say ella es abogada. She's a lawyer, right? Él es ingeniero. He is an engineer. So here we have an example passage again. Mi nombre es Melanie. In Spanish, they would say Melloni. Soy profesora. Soy cristiana y soy alta. Tengo un hermano y él es director de una escuela. Él también es alto. Mi hermano y yo somos de Jamaica. So in this passage, the verb ser is used a lot because we're talking about professions. We're talking about characteristics, right? And then we have the verb estar, which also corresponds with the verb to be in English. But we use estar in different contexts. We use it when talking about temporary states or conditions primarily. And the acronym to help us with estar is place, position, location, action, condition, and emotion. And remember, these are more temporary states, whereas ser is more of a permanent state or characteristic. The conjugation of estar, yo estoy, I am. Tú estás, you are. Él, ella está, he or she or it is. Nosotros estamos, we are. Vosotros estáis, you all are. Ellos, ellas están, they are. Ustedes están, you all are. So if I'm saying I am at the park, I'm going to use estar because that is my location. If I am saying the plantain is ripe, it was previously green, so its ripeness is not a permanent state. It's temporary. And therefore, I would have to say el plátano está maduro. Okay? So this is what makes Spanish a little bit complicated, but you can do it. So remember, doctor for ser and place for estar. Now we have some practice. And the first sentence says, my sister is from England. Would you say mi hermana es de Inglaterra o mi hermana está de Inglaterra? You would say es de Inglaterra because ser is used to talk about origins, nationalities, that type of a thing. The next one says, Paul is in the kitchen. Would you say Pablo es en la cocina o Pablo está en la cocina? Muy bien. Pablo está en la cocina because that's his location. So we use estar. And then they say, what time is it? How would you say that in Spanish? ¿Qué hora es o qué hora está? Diríamos ¿qué hora es? Because we use ser with the time. All right. So I hope this was clear. Yes, in English, you say my brother is a lawyer. And you're also trying to say my brother is here. In English, we just use is. But in Spanish, you use ser to say he's a lawyer because we use ser with occupations. And you use estar to say he is here because we use estar with locations. All right. So hopefully that was crystal clear. Please let me know how you felt about today's lesson. Your comments and your likes really help us as YouTubers. And I'm also inviting you to join me on YouTube Live every Sunday, God willing, at 7:30 p.m. to practice what you are learning. All right. This Sunday, we will go through question words, how to say where and when and why and so on in Spanish, as well as just reflecting on other content we've covered over these past few months. All right. Thank you again. Hasta la próxima vez.